Right, we are beginning our discussion now once more because we had a couple of challenges earlier on somehow with the sound, but now the sound has been sorted out. Okay, so we are interested in solving for x. And if we want to solve for x, there are a couple of things we need to consider. How do we solve for x? And that is one thing that remains extremely important for us. Okay, look at the first question. X minus 3 into x plus 2. Tando gave a suggestion. And we were given x plus 3 into x plus, or x minus 3 into x plus 2 equals 0. And Tando was able to realize that we have two solutions, x equals 3 or x equals minus 2, using the fact that if the product of two numbers is 0, or the product of two expressions, in this case, it is the product of two linear expressions. And if the product is equals 0, it actually means that x minus 3 equals 0 or x plus 2 equals 0. Okay, now, and this obviously by transposing minus 3 means that x equals 3 or x equals minus 2. We went on to look at this particular question right now. If you look at this particular question, what do we have here? Anyone, any suggestion on how to solve for x in this case?
We first have to
Yes.
transport 6 to the other side.
We need to first transport 6 to the other side of the equal sign. That's what Tando thinks. And I mean, it is correct to do so. Okay. Right. Okay. So anyone else? Okay. Yeah, I mean, Tando is right. That is what we can do. I would imagine that at this point, we can have a couple of suggestions. Okay, let's first multiply x by x. If multiply x, what is x times x? It is x squared.
X squared.
Right, and then we have x times 2, which is twice x, minus 5 by x.
2x.
Yes. Okay, I'm happy that you are participating. Awesome, excellent stuff. Right, okay, let me see, there's a small comment. Okay, now you can hear me, guys. Okay, I'm excited. Minus 5 times 2. What is minus 5 times 2?
We get negative 10.
Equals minus 6. And obviously, Tando is right. We can therefore have x squared. What is 2x minus 5x, anyone?
3x.
Minus 3x.
Negative 3x.
Yeah. What is minus 10 plus 6?
And negative 4.
Negative 4. Okay, what are the factors of this here? How do we get the factors of this?
We first gonna look for a number that when you multiply, you get negative 4. And when you add them, you get negative 3.
Yes, okay. Normally we do it like this, and obviously you are right there, Tando. Right, normally we multiply x squared with minus 4. We always multiply this with minus 4. That is the strategy we use here. And we get minus 4x squared. And after that, we look for factors of minus 4x squared that give minus 3. And those factors are minus 4x together with x. Because minus
Negative.
4x, yes, yeah. Minus 4x plus x, they give us minus 3. Okay, so we're good. And then it means that we have x squared minus 4x plus x minus 4 equals 0. I know some teachers do not teach it like this. Okay, so this different, but this is the best way to factorize quadratics. Okay, right. So now we factorize we take out the highest common factor in the first two expressions, taking out x, and we have x minus 4 plus into x minus 4 equals 0. So we have x into x minus 4 plus x minus 4. So then we have x into x minus 4 plus x minus 4 equals 0. which means x minus 4 into x plus 1 equals 0, which means that x is 4 or x is minus 1. Okay, so these are sort of the solutions to the problem, and now we have exactly these as the solutions to the problem. Right, so any question on this? Who has a question here? In other words, we started here. We were solving for x. We're here to do more examples. So Saturday, we shall spend more time. Today is our test discussion. So yeah, but just try to follow through. Okay, we are recording this lesson. So you're gonna have a chance to watch this lesson and replay and so on and so forth. Okay, now let's look at the next question. Let's look at the next question. Right, number 3, we have the question x squared equals 9. If x squared equals 9, what are the solutions here? Anyone? What do we do here? Anyone, please? Anyone? Are you sleeping?
We find the square root of 9. We find the square root of 9.
Find the square root of 9.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Is it Yolanda?
Yes.
Okay, Yolanda, right?
So it's gonna be
Yes.
x.
Yeah. What do you think, Yolanda?
Yes. Yes.
Please talk to us. Talk to us. It's gonna be?
It's gonna be x squared equals to 3 squared, which is equivalent to 9.
Okay, yes. X squared equals 3 squared. We agree that 3 squared is equivalent to 9, right? Okay, because 3 squared is like 3 times 3. Okay, good. Then what do we do next? Anyone, please? Anyone? You talk. Just talk. You don't wait for me to say, talk. So you just say, because you can hear that no one is talking. So now,
And then,
yeah, what do we do next?
and then I think since we are solving for x, the other two is gonna cancel each other, and then we'll have x is equals to 3 since we're looking for the value of x.
Right, there's something we call difference of two squares. What is difference of two squares?
Yes.
What is difference of two squares? Anyone? Difference of two squares. What is the difference of two squares? Anyone? Okay, the difference of two squares means that if you have a squared minus b squared, it's a minus b into a plus b, correct? So we can use that here. Okay, but one way to do this if you have squares is, which kids find very easy, is to say you take the square root on the left, you take the square root on the what? On the right, because you want to remove the square. But when you take the square root, you put a plus or minus. So that you have x equals plus or minus. What is the square root of 3 squared? It's like the square root of 9, which is what? Which is 3. So the answers, yeah. So the answers are 2 of them. So there, it's either x equals 3 or x equals minus 3. So you write x is 3 or x is minus 3, like that. So, okay, we're getting 2 answers to these, okay? Any question, people? But you see, I must indicate that it's not the only way to do the question. Another kid from another school can do this differently. They can just take the x squared and then take 3 squared like that. So they can take the 3 squared to the other side and then use the difference of 2 squares from grade 10. Because if you have a squared minus b squared, it is a minus b into a plus b. So here you would have x minus 3 into what? Into x plus 3 equals what? Equals 0. Okay. And when once a kid gets to these, they get x equals 3 or x equals minus what? Minus 3. You get the point. So the kid therefore gets x equals 3 or x equals minus 3.
Yes.
So you can use the difference of two squares, or you can just apply the square root on both sides and put plus or minus there. Okay, so we're getting to the same answers because we're getting the x equals 3 or x equals minus 3. Do you see that? Okay, next question. Okay, this lesson is recorded. We're recording this discussion. I'm gonna send you the recording of this discussion at the end. Okay, so yeah, next. So everything here, even if you don't copy, you're gonna have these discussion. Let's look at this one. What about if we have x squared? Right, let's look at x squared equals, now if we give you x squared equals this one. X squared equals x. What do we do here? Anyone? Anyone want
What
to
I would
x?
do is to take x to the other side.
Is to take x to the other side of the equal sign, like so, correct?
Then I factorize x since it's the common factor.
Yes, then you take the highest common factor. And that means x is 0 or x is what? Is 1. Is it correct? All right, so we're done. Too easy. Okay, so even Yolanda agrees it's too easy, right? Okay. Saturday 4 p.m. Saturday 4 p.m. we shall continue, but we are going on today. We're practicing a lot of things until for the next 1 hour. Right. So what about if we give this particular question? Five x squared plus 6x minus 7 equals 0. Okay. What are the values of x here? Anyone?
We first have to look for the product and sum.
We have to look for the product and sum. Well done there, Tando. Is Tando talking, right? Okay.
Yes.
We agree with you, Tando. You need to first look for the product and sum. And therefore now, what then do we get here? And so at this point, what is the product and what is the sum here?
Our product is negative 35.
It's negative 35. And you can see that if you do negative 35, you can't get 6. So now you use the quadratic formula. Use what? The quadratic formula. What does the quadratic formula say? Anyone?
Can you say
Yes. You're right, Tando, but just that this one has, you can't, because it's gonna give minus 35, but there are no factors that are gonna give 6. So you can wait. If ever it becomes tricky, you use the quadratic formula x
it's
equals
x
minus
minus b
b.
plus negative
Yes. Like this, right?
square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a.
Good. I'm happy that you guys are actually so much in spirit. Okay, so now this is our A and this is our B and this is our C. So you come here, wait for the, so you put minus 6. The square root of B squared, which is 6 squared. Right, so you have exactly 2A, which is exactly 5 that way. And so what then do we get out of this here? So what do we get out of these here? Right. So it's going to be exactly x equal to?
It's negative 7.96.
Okay. I'm excited that you're super fast.
Oh,
Right.
let me
So
see.
what is under the square root here? If you say 6 squared is 36.
Oh, wait, it's negative 1.93.
Okay. I'm excited that that's Lerato, right? Yes. Okay. So you must continue. You must maintain that momentum. We need that momentum moving forward. Okay. So yeah, I'm excited that you guys are so much. Right. There's 6 squared plus 4 by 5 by 7. And it is actually apparently 176. Right. That's 176 divided by 10. Right. So we're getting that x is minus 6 plus minus 1 is the square root of 176 over 10, which means x equals minus 6 plus or minus the square root of 176 out of what? Out of 10. What are the factors of 176 that can bring so much joy to us? 16 by 11. So 176 has the factor 16 by 11 out of 10. And this means x is minus 6 plus or minus the square root of 16, the square root of 11, which you divide by what? By 10. Okay. And then we have minus 6 plus, what is the square root of 16? Okay, divide through by 2, which is minus 3 plus or minus 2, the square root of 11 out of 5. So which means that x is minus 3 plus 2 into the square root of 11, right? Which is minus 3 plus 2 into the square root of 11 out of 5. Or x equals minus 3 minus 2 into the square root of 11 out of what? Out of 5. So these are the answers, but we can find the decimals of this, as the writer was saying. So the first one is this one, which is 0.73 to 2 decimal places, or x is approximately minus 1.93.
93.
Good. Okay, so these are just warm-up exercises. We're yet to get into serious business. We're yet to get into serious business. Okay, let's look at the next question. The next question. Right, so the next question is this one. X equals 5 divided by 3x minus 2. What do we do here, anyone? Okay, that's fine. I'm just going to bring that back. What do we do here, anyone?
Cross multiplication.
Cross multiplication. Thanks. That's Tando, right? Right. So that's cross multiplication. So we have x into 3x minus 2 equals 5. Anyone, what we do next?
We expand.
We expand or we distribute. So we multiply through x by this and x by that. So which means it is 3x squared minus 2x equals 5.
Then we distribute.
Yes. Okay, I'm
5
excited.
Negative 5.
Yes.
Equals to 0.
Okay, equals 0. Okay, good. Now we get to this point where we have 3x squared minus 2x minus 5. So yeah, 3x squared minus 2x minus 5 equals 0. What do we do here, anyone? What do we do here, anyone?
We use the quadratic formula.
Okay, we can use the quadratic formula in case the factors are difficult to find. Are these difficult to find? I agree. I mean, we have a choice. It depends if the factors are difficult to find. Okay, so I know I used the quadratic formula because I realized in the previous one we couldn't do anything else. Okay, we had no choice. But now we take the 3x squared, we multiply first with minus 5 and c, but yeah, we get minus 15 because 3 by 5 is 15 with the minus x squared. We have the factors of minus 15 that give minus 2. What are they? Okay, so they are actually minus 5x and 3x because they give minus 15, but when we add, we get minus 2. Okay, we can still use the quadratic formula, guys. We still can, but in this case, it's easier because there are factors we can get. The quadratic formula works if, hey, you can see you're sweating, but I'm going to give a characterization in terms of the discriminant that we can use there, okay? If in case the factors are taking long, now we're bringing the minus 5x here, we're bringing 3x here, okay? And we're getting this. And then here we're taking the highest common factor from the first two terms, and taking out x from the first two, we have 3x minus 5 plus 3x minus 5 equals 0, which is 3x minus 5 into x plus 1 equals 0, which means, okay, you have x equals 5 out of 3, or x equals minus 1. Okay, so these are sort of the solutions to the problem, and we're continuing to solve a little bit more things. Any questions so far? No question. Right, we have another question, this one. 2x plus 5 over x equals 11, provided x is not 0. What do we do here, anyone? Okay, how do you solve x here, anyone? Is it too easy? Or maybe you can't see the question. Or you can't see the question. Can you see the question?
Yes.
Okay, what do we do first?
Ooh.
It's too hard. Okay, we multiply, we consider the LCD, okay? It's like Yolanda was talking, or somebody. The lowest common denominator is only x. The denominator is only x. So the lowest common denominator is x. And we multiply each of the terms by the lowest common denominator. We take 2x multiplied by x. We have 5 over x, we multiply by x. We have 11, we multiply by x. And this is exactly 2x squared plus 5 equals 11x, which is 2x squared minus 11x plus 5 equals 0. So you have 2x squared minus 11x plus 5 equals 0. Okay, to factorize this, you can use the quadratic formula, yes, but we can use other methods as well. Okay, so we can use a couple of other methods to actually solve these. So we note that, as a matter of fact, what do we do here now? And now we multiply 2x squared by what? By 5. And what are we getting? We're getting 10x squared. So we actually therefore look for factors of 10x squared that give minus 11. What are they? Factors of 10x squared that give minus 11. What are those factors?
-2 and a +5. Oh, no.
Okay, I'm glad that you're thinking. Very brilliant thinking there. What are those factors that we can get here?
I think 10 and 1.
Well done. That's minus 10x minus x, because minus 10x times minus x, they give 10x squared. But when you say minus 10 minus x, you get minus 11. So those are the correct ones from Tando, right, Tando? Right, so, right, that's correct. So we have therefore 10x minus x plus 5 equals 0. Here, the highest common factor is twice x. We have x minus 5. We factor out, and we have minus x minus 5. We have x minus 5 into twice x minus 1 equals 0, which means x equals 5, x equals 1 over 2. So those are the answers here. Okay. So we're done solving this one. Okay. There are many things we can solve, obviously. Let us look at something called inequalities. Okay, you have done in school, in particular, let's look at inequalities. Right, inequalities. Okay, in this case, we need to solve for x. Right, how do we solve for x? We need to solve for x. Given, let's do something easy for a start. If we're given number 1, x squared minus 2x is less or equal to 15. What do we do here? Tando?
I feel like we should form the standard form by taking 15 to the other side.
Yes, so we need to write this in standard form, and the standard form means that it is the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. It is in this form, the standard form. Okay, then when we get to this point, we can factorize this with ease. If it doesn't easily factorize, we use the quadratic formula. So we are spoiled for choice. We multiply x squared with minus 15, we get minus 15x squared, and we can see that we have minus 5x and what? And 3x as the factors, so that at this point we have x squared minus 5x plus 3x minus 15 is less or equal to 0. Okay, so what are we getting here? Right, so we have x squared minus 5x. We have x squared minus 5x. And then we have plus 3x minus 15. Plus 3x minus 15 is less or equal to 0. Right, so we factor out x, and we have x minus 5 plus 3 into x minus 5 is less or equal to 0. X minus 5 is the highest common factor. It's the highest common factor, the HCF, and we factor it out, and we have x plus 3 is less or equal to 0. At this point, we choose something, we find what you call the critical values. What are the critical values? So the x equals 5 or x equals minus 3. Right, so if we have this x equals 5, x equals minus 3, x equals 5 or x equals minus 3, these are the critical values. So we have minus 3, 5. And then now we have x minus 3, x plus 3, x minus 5, excuse. Okay, I know there are many ways to solve this problem, but one of the methods is this one. Okay, this method is called the sign table method. The other methods that I'm going to elaborate on that are very famous, but some of them are not good, are not very good in mathematics, but are used by the teachers in the curriculum to simplify issues, to simplify matters. So now at this point, if you take any number smaller than minus 3, any arbitrary number, any random number smaller than minus 3, like minus 10. What is minus 10 minus 5? It's a minus 15, negative. Minus 10 plus 3 is a minus 7, negative. Between minus 3 and 5 is a 0. 0 minus 5, it's minus. 0 plus 3, it's a plus. Bigger than 5, it's 10. 10 minus 5 is a plus. 10 plus 3 is a 13 plus. Then what you do is you multiply the signs here. Okay, this is called the sign table. I know you might be seeing it for the first time. Multiply this with that and you get a what? You get a plus. Multiply, because this is this times this.
Okay.
Yeah, you multiply this by this, you get a minus. Multiply this by this, you get a plus.
Negative.
Yes, so there are many ways. But now,
Positive.
yes, good. You look at the question. It was saying x minus 5 into x plus 3 is less or equal to 0. So in other words, you had x minus 5 into x plus 3 is less or equal to 0. Okay, when it's less or equal to 0, negative, it's here, which means minus 3 is less or equal to x, less or equal to 5. Okay, so it's negative between these two things. Negative between these two things. So the negative is between. How do you say between in mathematics? So we put the x between minus 3 and 5. Okay, to mean the minus. Why the minus? Because this is saying less than 0. Less than 0 is negative. Right. Okay, let's look at another quadratic inequality. Right. If you look at the next question, for example, if you have 6x squared plus 13x minus 4 is greater or equal to 1. What do we do here? Yolanda, what do you think? What is the first step? What do we do?
I think you take 1 to the other side and then add it with the 4 with the like term.
Yes, we group like terms together. So grouping like terms together, we transpose 1 to the other side, making it a negative 1. And we have 6x squared plus 13x minus 5 is greater or equal to 0. To factorize this, we have two choices. If it doesn't easily factorize, we use the quadratic, but the quadratic is very long, or we use our usual method of factorization. This one is pretty straightforward, so yeah, we good. We multiply 6x squared with minus 5. Getting what? Minus 30x squared. So we take the factors of minus 30x squared. That will give 1313x squared. Okay. So it's easy. Somebody's going to be saying is what? What are the factors here of minus 30x squared? That will give 13x squared. There are 15 and 2.
Positive 5 and negative 6.
All right. I know. Okay. I'm happy that you're excited. Right. So you have a 15x and minus 2x because 15 minus 2 times minus 2 is minus 30, but 15x minus 2x is 13. So this gives us 6x squared plus 15x minus 2x minus that is greater or equal to 0. Okay, you factor out here 3 and x, which is 2x and 5. Here you factor out negative, getting 2x plus 5. So you have 3x, which is 2x plus 5. 2x plus 5. Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay, the 2x plus 5 is so much of the highest common factor. So we have 2x plus 5 and 3x minus 1 is critical to 0. Okay, now some students have a challenge factorizing this, but when you take out the highest common factor, you cross this out. And when you cross this out, you'd have 3x minus 1. Right, and when you get to this point, you look for the critical values. So the x equals minus 5 over 2 or x equals 1 over 3. So 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 1. Writes the critical values, x equals minus 5 over 2 or x equals 1 over 3. And like we did before, we position everything on the number line. We put the negative number first because minus 5 over 2 is negative, and then we put 1/3 afterwards, and we put x there. We put 2x plus 5 here, and we put 3x minus 1. Here we put 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 1. So less than minus 5 over 2, any negative number, maybe minus 100. And if you put it here, this is going to be negative, like minus 10. 3 by minus 10 is minus 30, minus 1 is minus 31, negative. Okay, between a negative number and a positive number on the number line, take a 0. 0 plus 5 here, it's going to be a positive number, excuse. It's going to be a positive number. So this is positive. And putting a 0 in the place of x, 3 times 0 minus 1. 3 times 0 is 0 minus 1 it's a negative. Any number bigger than 1/3 can be any random number, maybe even 5. Right, 2 times 5 plus 5, it's positive, doesn't matter. 3 by 5 is 15 minus 1. It's positive, okay? So, and now this says you multiply these times this, you multiply negative by negative, you get a plus. You have here positive by negative, you have a negative, and here you have a positive here. So, which means therefore, you have here a plus, okay? A minus here and a plus there. Right, so now what we then do next is to then say, if this is greater or equal to 0, we look for the positives. Where are the positives occurring? The positive is this side and the other one is on the other side. So which means the solutions here are x is less or equal to minus 5/2. Right. So x is less or equal to minus 5/2 or x is bigger than that. You can write it on the next slide. So you can come and then say x is less or equal to minus 5/2 is this side, plus is this side. So it's on the less than, to the left is less. So x is less than minus 5/2. Or x is bigger or equal to 1/3. Okay, so yeah. Okay, let's look at another quadratic that is very
Sorry, before you continue,
yes.
can you also please show, because I know sometimes at school, at school,
Yes.
when I was still doing it, they showed us like on the number line, not the sign table, whereby they did a thing whereby you draw
You draw the
the
number line and then put some signs on it. Is that?
no, like on the number line,
Yes.
draw what's this? The X oh my gosh.
Okay, let me see. 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 2x plus 5. Okay, I'm gonna do something here.
It's like
2x.
work out the whole thing as it is, and like as you did the work out, and then the only difference is there by the table. They do the Cartesian plane and then draw on the Cartesian plane.
Oh yes, no, yeah, I know that is the shortcut. That shortcut is very problematic. Well, it's used sometimes, okay, but it must be used very cautiously because it's not universally accepted, and that is the reason.
Oh,
Yeah, it is challenges with universal acceptance. Okay, we're going to discuss that because if you have 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 1, right? So
yes.
you have 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 1. Okay, 2x plus 5 into 3x minus 1 is greater or equal to 0. Yes, is greater or equal to 0. So you can use you obtain the critical values. What are the critical values? This one or x is 1/3, like this, right? Okay, now you then draw the x-axis like this. And then you analyze the fact that this one is going to have a minimum vertex. Okay, it's going to have a minimum vertex because so the coefficients of x here is positive, positive. So it's going to have a minimum vertex, and then you have minus 5/2, 1/3. Right, and then now you're analyzing the part where the quadratic, because this is quadratic, where the graph is greater or equal to 0. So the graph is equal to 0 here, and the graph equals 0 there. Okay, let me use a different color. So the graph is 0 there, and it's 0 there, but it's greater than 0 when you go up, greater than 0 when you go up like that. So which means that at this point, you have that x is less or equal to minus 5/2, or x is bigger or equal to 1/3, like that. So, okay, these answers are the same as those. So you can use this kind of a graph. Is this kind of, is it the graph you're talking about? Something like that? Yolanda?
Yes, it's the one I was talking about. Thank you.
All right, that's fine. Okay, now, normally they ask these particular questions. And here is one small little question. For which? Right, for which values of x? is x divided by x minus 3 real? For which values of x is x, the square root of x minus 3 real? What do we do here, anyone? We're looking for the solution to this one.
You need to take up the square root.
We need to somehow obviously imagine the square root taken off. Good. Any other suggestion? Anyone? 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 Too easy. Too boring. I'm not getting any answer from you guys, and I'm sad. I'm so sad. Please talk to me.
We all thinking of the same thing, removing the square root sign.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you, folks. Thank you, good students. We need to somehow remove the square root. But to analyze this question, we're saying, for which values of x is this real? So now for these to be real, we need to realize that we have x into x minus 3. Real. Okay, real means that whatever is under the square root, must be greater or equal to 0, because square roots that are real are square roots of positive numbers or 0. So we don't take square roots of negative numbers at school level. We don't take square roots of negative numbers. Right, so we restrict the whatever is under the square root to be non-negative greater or equal to 0. So we then have to solve x over x minus 3 is greater or equal to 0. What do we then do here? Anyone? Anyone? Okay, we need to solve for x here. So we must get the critical values. Right, and the critical values, where do they occur? They occur when the numerator is 0, or when x is 3. In which case, therefore, we put x, and then we put x minus 3 here, and we draw our number line like this. Right? And if we do that, we put here 0, we put here 3, and this is the number line of x values. Beneath here, we put x over x minus 3. Right, in which case, therefore, we draw like this. Okay, the sign table method is more universal, and I prefer the use of the sign table because it's more universal. It can solve any question that involves inequalities. Okay, just using signs only. Right, so now using the sign table method. Sign table. Right, so now pick a random number that is smaller than 0, like -2. You put in the place of x, you're going to have a negative. Putting it here, -2, -3 is going to be negative. Right, bigger than 0, between 0 and 3, maybe 1. Putting a 1 in the place of x is going to be a +1. 1 minus 3 is going to be a -2. Bigger than 3, pick a random number like 5. Putting in the place of x, put 5, it's a plus. 5 minus 3, it's a plus. Okay, this says divide. It's x divided by x minus 3. You divide, you have a plus. You divide, you have a minus. You divide, you have a plus. So at this point, we are looking for where this is greater or equal to 0. Greater or equal to 0. Where is greater or equal to 0? Positive. Positive this side, positive that side. So which means positive on the left of 0, which means x is less than 0 or less than or equal to 0, or x is bigger or equal to, in particular, x is only bigger than 3. Okay, x cannot be equal to 3 because if ever x equals 3, then we have 3 minus 3 in the denominator and it's division by 0. So we must restrict x to be greater than 0, strictly greater than 0, or x is less or equal to 0. Okay, x is less or equal to 0 or x is bigger than 3 strictly. Right. Here's a homework. Right. I'm not going to be long. We're not going to be long today because it's our test session. Solve for x. Right. So at this point, we are expecting you to solve for x given 6. Okay, I'm going to send you this video even if you're not copying everything. Okay. This video, I'm going to send you the link. So you'll have the chance to sort of watch this video. Okay, let me see. Plus 2x minus plus 3, which is less or equal to 0. Okay, so this is one question we need to solve for x, so you need to try your best there. Okay, there's something very interesting that we need to talk about, and let's talk about exponents. Right, let's speak about exponents. What do we say about exponents? If we need to solve for x, if we have 5 to the power 2x plus 1 is equal to 125. What do we do here, anyone? Two x plus 1 here at the top. 2x plus 1 here at the top. What do we do here, anyone? Tando, Yolande, Lerato.
I'm not sure. The thing is, I don't have a calculator right now, but you must try to have a base, which is the same as the other one, which is 5. But I think it's gonna be 5 something, and then
That is Yolanda, right?
like I just calculator, so in someone
Okay, so yeah,
square
it's 5 to the power 2x
120.
plus 1, and it's 5 cubed. 5 cubed. So if the bases are the same, you equate the
Yes,
exponent.
yes.
X plus 1 equals 3. 2x equals 3 minus 1. What is 3 minus 1? Equals 2. So if 2x is equal to 2, you divide the left by 2 and the right by 2, so that x equals what? X equals 1.
1.
All right. I think I must thank you for joining us, guys. I was testing the systems today. Okay. So I'm going to send you the link. Are you, Yolanda, are you connected with Tando?
He's my brother.
Oh, all right. Excellent. Yeah, they told me. They told me. Okay, that's excellent. So what I'm going to do then, I'm going to send you the link to the video when in the next couple of minutes. So you can just watch the video. On Saturday, we're going to meet at 4 p.m. and we're going to have a 2-hour discussion on everything mathematics, but a lot of things. Okay. So today it was just,
Okay.
yeah. It was
So
just
where are you going to send the link?
the link. I'm going to send it through the contact of the person who communicated to you about me. There's a cell phone
Okay.
number, there's a WhatsApp number. There's somebody who told me that there's Tando who needs assistance with school. And Tando is in grade 11, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah, the kind of thing. Yeah. Okay. But they told me, so I'm gonna send it on the WhatsApp number of that person who told me that you guys need help, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm going to send you the link of the video so you can watch this video. But our next lesson on Saturday, it's going to be lit at 4 p.m. It's going to be more mathematics, 2 hours of mathematics from the beginning of mathematics to the end of mathematics. Okay. Right. So thanks, everybody. I'll see you Saturday at 4 p.m. But in case there's a lesson in the middle, I'll always let you know because I can have like short lessons at any given time. But I'm going to let you know in advance if there's a lesson that we can have, preferably in the morning if the lesson is going to be late in the evening so that you can prepare yourselves, etc., etc. Or the day before, I can always mention a lesson, but Saturday 4 p.m. we always have lessons at that time. Okay. So thanks, guys. Obviously, I'm going to send you the timetable as well, and you're going to talk more. But yeah, today was a trial lesson, and I'm glad that I was able to talk to you. But see you guys on Saturday at 4 p.m. with everything mathematics from A to Z. All right. Goodbye, guys. Good evening, and I'm going to send the link soon. Next couple of minutes. Thank you. Goodbye.